All right, greetings everyone. It is Umbra Hat, Umbra no less, here to give you your live stream recap for JP. And honestly, it was definitively a live stream tonight. I cannot fault them for not doing a live stream, because they did do a live stream, and we're going to go through all the information tonight and give you a summary in a quick and timely manner. So, to start, basically, it was what you thought. We had 3 categories of stuff to talk about: unit, event, campaign, which unit, campaign and event, same thing, and roadmap. So those are going to be our hot topics for tonight. And honestly, skipping through the present stuff because it is irrelevant. The one with the antler will always win on JP. Now let's go. Skip ahead. Thought I had the time code for this, but yeah. For the unit, really shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, it's the character that we've been waiting for since Another Story 2 was announced. And as you can see, you got a very lengthy trailer. So Raff is coming to the game April 1st. No, this is not a joke of any kind. She will be a dark 100 cost tank type character. That's right. She is going to be for lack of a better thing, she is a magical character who has barriers, re-raise, hate up, and sub-jobs that will be quite good for what she's looking to do. But yeah, they use the word tank, and as we all know, historically, when Wotv has said that a dark elemental tank would be monumental for the game. So is that necessarily true? I guess we're going to find out as of Friday, because she is coming out and she is going to come hard to the game. I regret those choice of words, but too late. So as you can see, you're getting a preview of Raff's animations. Crystal Warrior of Dark is her main job. Sub, Scholar, and sub, I do believe it's Magic Swordsman or Spellblade, I think, on global. So it's basically the defensive option, and given that she's overall a tank type character, makes a lot of sense. So let's skip ahead, and we're going to just go right up to the cards here and take a look at them. So first off, you can see Raff's art, 100 cost unit, going to be a mace type character. And as for her performance, first off, she has hate with her support and also some of her mass abilities. So basically right from the get-go of a actual battle, she will have hate generation active and be able to generate it, which is of course one of the things we are looking for the most in a tank. You will also, being converted into EX, will give her a re-raise skill that will allow her to, of course, activate re-raise. She does not have Guts / Immortal Spirit, but she doesn't need it because she already has re-raise. As you can see here, this is her Limit Burst, which interestingly has Flag Glassy capabilities. Not only is it a large AoE, but it, like Flag Glassy's Limit Burst, will extend an elemental chain beyond a specific unit acting over the course of a turn. So yes, continuing on, she also possesses what is considered to be a really big barrier ability that also can, her barrier ability will also give light and dark resistance up, in addition to damage reduction and general resistance up. So basically, like, this barrier ability that she will cast will also grant her like debuff resistance, I do believe. But anyway, it makes her way more defensive and will make her good into light matchups and dark matchups too, which is pretty huge. Now, next up, she does possess an HP recovery buff as well as a resistance buff. So when her HP drops below a certain amount, she will actually recover a large amount of HP. Sorry, it will recover it's a medium amount of HP, but we'll talk about why that's going to be even better in a second here. But also will make her strong against debuff style attacks too. So not only is she a tank, not only is she a tank with re-raise, not only is she a tank with barrier and re-raise, she also has resistance to debuffs, which will make her very strong against enemies. From there, in her kit, she also has Guts, Immortal Spirit, Release. For opponents that she hits, she has sure hit attacks, and then basically having higher accuracy to deal with evasive style characters. And many of her abilities seem to be, at least her limit burst and the one they've shown off, are diamond size AoEs, which means pretty useful potentially in farming as well. But interestingly, top right corner's diamond AoE is considered full break. So it debuffs targets in basically all categories: attack, magic, defense, and spirits. So very, very strong looking character. If I was to say anything, if you got Sephiroth, you're kind of in for a penny, in for a pound here. Both Sephiroth and Raff are going to be a dynamite team. And me currently, I mean, I don't even think you necessarily are going to need the next VC to really excel with this character. Dark VCs are already really, really good. We already have dark magic VCs that are really, really, really good. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need the next VC Esper. Oh wait, did I say something? We'll get there in a second. But, I mean, this is a character that looks like to have utility, survivability, and a lot of the newest features. Just a lot of the newest features. I mean, there's a ton of survivability in this character, and it's really just how many uses are on her abilities. But this is the tank unit for the dark element. This is finally it. But possessing a ton of abilities such as Reagan's healing capabilities, sure hit abilities, flag glassies, extender ability, as well as barriers and such forth, this character is pretty much going to be what I would consider to be a must-have character if there was such a thing in Wotv. But definitively, this is going to be more than likely an absolute mandatory character for dark type players. I just don't see a way around it. This is looking like June levels of stuff here that will be potentially and fairly meta warping. Now, I do believe that she's supposed to be a more physical specialized tank against physical DPS. However, with Spellblade, there's a good chance that she will have enough in the tank to potentially go with against magic type attackers as well. And the inclusion of Scholar gives her potential more DPS and potentially more healing, which is important, as we will talk about in a second. Now, personally, I've already figured that Halloween Lucia in combination with Garvel might be an interesting, more limited cost team that might have a ton of survivability and a lot of capability offensively. So stay tuned. I'll also state really quickly that I am absolutely pulling for this character 100%, and that poll stream will be happening Friday at midnight on JP. So please tune in if you are, like me, ready for this one. All right, so yeah, Raff is looking really, really good. Of course, talking about a few other things of note. She will get a brand new weapon that is her mace type weapon. Now, interestingly, the common effect on this is healing up, which isn't terribly exciting for a lot of different characters in the game, but is interesting for her, as effectively what we're getting off of this is her HP heal that is medium gets a strong boost from this, and potentially Scholar or any other healing abilities in her kit will be amplified by this, making her probably the better Diardo as Diardo, HP healing never really felt quite up to snuff, but this I think is going to be much more successful. There will also, of course, be a training mission for her, of course. So skipping ahead, let's talk about the other thing that was announced tonight, which is a 70 cost VC, as you can see right here. This is the Great Demon, the Magical Commander Great Demon VC, a 70 cost VC that is almost uncertainly a job VC for bases, of course, and we'll have to wait and see all the other details about it when it is announced. But this also comes with a brand new esper, which, if you are familiar with it, is actually from Brave Exvius, which was a series of battles that you had to fight back to back, starting with Cactar, into Bombs, into Kraken, into Europa. I might have gotten a few of those mixed. But the final fight was against a giant demon, and this is it. So this new esper, not really any details yet, but given that it's coming out directly after Raff, is probably going to be a Raff tank, maybe magical esper. And I'm very curious to see how this esper ends up, but honestly, full meal package deal with 100 cost character and a 70 cost VC looking pretty juicy, and we'll have to wait and see how good it is, but I'm pretty excited for the combination, especially because, hey, VCs are way easier to get than when they're 70 cost than they're 90 cost, so screw you, Dark Golem. All right, continuing on, now we're going to get into the extra details tonight. So first off, we are going to be getting a new story section. Part 3, Chapter 2, Section 3 will be coming out, which is a hefty sum of lapis for people. Good news for me. Next up, Raid Boss Revival is coming back. Not too many other details about that, just that it will be starting in April for people to play. Whoops, scroll down on the wrong screen. Next up, I do want to skip a wee bit ahead. Here we are. Guild Raid is coming back. It's been a long time since we have seen this. The elements will be wind, fire, water, dark, and light for this lineup. And map effects seem to be damage limit up, initial AP up, etc., as per the usual. There will also be some campaigns held, but short of the crafting campaign, nothing too terribly exciting there. Now, before we get into the roadmap, we will talk about the fluff. Tonight was announced that there will be FFBE War of the Visions goods coming to a Animate store in Japan. Japan. These things will include basically, various detail or various goods. See if I can't hone in on it a little bit more. I think I was just slightly too early. There we go. So as you can see here, statues, vision card artwork, clear files, more plastic, a mouse pad with Mont and on it, and a kind of jacket thing, which looks like a raincoat in real life. So yes, there will also be a general tie-in to a Square Enix e-store, it looks like, with some Wotv related goods. Now, last but not least, it was talked about a roadmap for this time around, and there were some features that were announced. Not sure if I actually have it on my notes. I mean, I definitely remember reading about it, but now I just can't remember when I actually need to. Yes. So, in the month of April, it looks like Chocobo's exploration will get changed to increase the number of tickets and eliminate stone consumption. So hopefully that's just good in general. Not sure exactly, but find out eventually. Friend match, you'll be able to select map effects to potentially test out more things. In match battle, or in guild mock battle, you'll actually be able to test out a bunch of stuff at once, and they're also planning on adding a replay function addition to results as well, which could be pretty interesting for people who really want to analyze it. Now, getting into the month of May, looks like we're getting into basically EX job abilities will be able to be enhanced all at once. This should have been added to the game faster, but whatever. Also, there will be some changes to rune stones, as well as filtering stuff for specific job types when it comes to activated effects. So all of that stuff is generally positive stuff. Outside of that, they will be adding things like a favorite story map function where you'll be able to save your favorite story maps to access them quicker. I guess for farming purposes. And there's a few other functions that will be added, such as UI and balancing towards guild battle by the sounds of it. But for now, that's essentially everything that was talked about on Livestream. So one of the obviously the big thing is our brand new character here. Raff is looking to be absolutely top tier, and dare I say, potentially even a mandatory for a lot of different accounts, because tanks are usually pretty monumental things, and Dark hasn't had it, period. I mean, the closest it's had is Brave Little Leela, who kind of acted as a pseudo tank but was never a true tank. So yeah, not too terribly much to say. I'm going to end this video by saying Raff is looking very, very strong indeed, and I will be doing pulls for her on Friday. Join me. See you then.